Hey guys, so my name is Chenga. There's a lot of you still struggling to say my name, but it's okay, it's a Hungarian name. So I am originally from Hungary, and I had a lot of requests to do this video just to talk about a bit more about myself, I guess. So there is one thing and just like really close friends knows about me, and they told me that this is something I should talk about because I might be able to like help people. So I do have dyslexia, and I went to school in Hungary, so I was 7 years old when we find out that I have dyslexia. So it's really hard for me to learn, and I have been told that I will never learn another language. So for me, speaking English, it's kind of a miracle, I guess. But yeah, I do actually love, and I have to speak English. So even when they told me I'm not going to be able to learn, I said no, there is no way I am going to speak English. So it's more like about, like write in English, which I'm struggling with. It's the same with Hungarian language. So writing for me is something really difficult, which my brain can't really like process the same way as other people. So I was actually really lucky because my mom, when we find out when I was 7, she hired a personal teacher, and then I had that teacher coming after school to help me to learn like twice a week, and between 7 and I think the last time I was 14 when she came. So yeah, that was something I had to do after school, which I hated back then, but right now I'm like extremely happy, and I know how lucky I am that I had that. So again, thank you mom and dad for doing that for me. Yeah, and then so dyslexia is something I struggle with like every single day, but you can learn things still. It just takes like a longer time. I'm managing a gym, so I do need to write emails. There is people always like helping me, so if I need some help, maybe write an Instagram post or something, I can reach out to friends to help me, so they are always there for me. But in the same time, there is things I can't learn, so I just don't know sometimes how to write things down, and it's really hard because I can say them, it's different, but spelling, it's even the same with Hungarian language. So spelling is something my brain can't really like process the same way as other people, I guess. So yeah, that's that. And then let's see a few questions you guys asked me on Instagram. So I have one, and she's asking, a Lithuanian girl in London, interesting to know how you made it into fashion TV. So yeah, fashion TV, this is actually something like really interesting, because obviously it's high fashion, and this is something which was huge part of my life. So I got into fashion TV when I was 17. I had a 2 years contract with them, and we traveled. So basically it was a huge tour around the world. So the first location was I think Saint-Tropez. Yeah, I think we landed in Saint-Tropez, and fashion TV back then had a huge boat, and with the boat from Saint-Tropez we went to Morocco, and after that we went to Ibiza. So basically it was like a tour on the boat, and we had to do fashion shows on a boat. There was one fashion show in Saint-Tropez, Nikki Beach, then we went out partying in Ibiza. So I was 17 when I first went to Amnesia Pasha. So it was something, you know, it was 2007. And for me, just another world basically just opened, and that's when I know, like, you know, I can go back to Hungary, but I will never leave there. So I had a pretty crazy life after fashion TV, or during that time. I did travel a lot. Then I placed third in that competition, which was in Europe. So I think we did one in, where was it? Morocco. There was the competition. I placed third, and the first top 3 or top 5 got into the finals. And the finals was New Year's Eve in Vietnam. And before Vietnam, we was in, I think, Christmas. Yeah, Christmas time we was in Thailand. So from Thailand the boat went to Vietnam, and then we had the New Year's Eve fashion show there. And then from Vietnam we went to China, and then from China I flew back to Hungary. So yeah, that was a pretty crazy time for me. Then I did a few more years of fashion modeling, and that was the time when you know, you had to be like really extremely skinny to do high fashion. And I think after 18 I wasn't that skinny, so that was the time when sometimes I had to like starve myself to stay skinny. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about. So this is, I do struggle with emotional eating, and this is kind of coming from modeling, because I started before fashion TV, so before 17 I had like small jobs back home from age 14, and then they always told, like, you know, the models that you need to be more skinnier, not skinny enough, all those things. And you know, that's when you are really young, this is something in which you're gonna struggle, like struggled back then, but since then, yeah, it just comes in different kind of forms. And I have friends like other models, they struggle with the same problem. So yeah, emotional eating is something a lot of girls. Right, so I'm gonna have the next question, and the next question is from Marish Makeup, and she's saying that she wanna know everything, but how did you get into fitness? So I was 18 when I got a model contract in Greece. We had to go to the gym basically every single day, or I think like 5 times a week at least. So they made us to do that, and that was the first bodybuilding gym I ever went to. And did that model contract in Greece. First they wanted to send me home because they told me I'm not skinny enough. So I told them that give me a week and I can be skinnier, and because I didn't know my body back then as well, and I know if I, let's say, eat fruits, back then that was my knowledge about nutrition, then I can just lose weight. So I did that, and then yeah, that was the first time when I went to a bodybuilding gym in Greece. And we didn't have too much fashion shows in Greece, so basically we had to kill time. So I spent a lot of time at that gym, and just learned a lot about like how to train body parts. It was really like interesting, because before then I always like run outside. That was it basically, because I had to stay skinny and I had been told that I have to run. So yeah, that was the first time actually. And then yeah, bodybuilding. Then bodybuilding, it just became my passion. After 18 I moved to London, and then London I always went to the gym. Yeah, it's just something I'm really passionate about. 18 when I first moved to London, and I was here like longer than a year, I think. That's when I really learned English. And I wasn't signed that time with an agency, but I was always like looking to get signed, so I was like going for a lot of castings and all those, but that's when my weight was going up and down a lot, so I had to like really starve myself to stay skinny. So back then sometimes this is actually really funny because now I know, but back then I had no idea what I'm doing. So sometimes all I had a day, it was free Starbucks. So I had a skinny sugar-free vanilla latte, you know, the big one, and that's all I had sometimes for days. Which just sounds really crazy right now, but yeah, I learned a lot since. So yeah, that was a really interesting year. It's ending up with, you know, all going to all those clubs with promoters, free alcohol, free food, and then it's just ending up partying all the time. And then when I was 19, I was like, this has to stop. I need to do something because this is not going anywhere. So that's when I moved back to Hungary and went back to school. And that's when I was like, I want to be a personal trainer, so this is what I'm gonna do. So I went back, done my level 2, and then I started to work in different gyms and studios. That's when first Power Plate came along, and in Hungary we had like small studios like TRX and Power Plate, and then we just did a half an hour like training on a Power Plate. And that's the first time, 2000, I think it was 2011, when EMS training came along, and I was running a studio with one machine for 6 months. That was my favorite job ever. And then after finishing my level 2, so back home in Hungary with that qualification, I could do anything. And then I did end up, when I turned 21 to 22, had my last high fashion photo shooting with my best friend. And then I think that was like the last I was like, if I'm 22 and I don't get, I was again extremely skinny, so I was able to, with the running I did, EMS, and the training I did back then in Hungary, I was like really skinny, plus I was in love. So that's another thing which, you know, makes you happy. So yeah, then we done that photo shooting, which was the best photo shooting I ever had. Yeah, then I moved back to London. I think that's like 2012, and since then I never looked back. So this is something, I love London. I always did, and that's one of my biggest loves. So I think I'm gonna live here for the rest of my life, or somewhere close. Anyway, so I was a waitress for 2 years. Yeah, that's after that I went back to school and done my level 3, and then started to work in one small gym in Bromley first, and then yeah, competing. All my friends started to compete in Hungary around like 2010, 2011, and because back then I was still doing modeling, I always felt like, you know, I was always eating healthy, but I was like, you know, competing. I seen the extremes, like really extremes, what my friends going through. So I was like, I think it's not healthy, and I'm never gonna do it. But then 2015 came along, and I could never think about anything else but to compete. So for my first show, I think I got ready in 6 weeks, and I got extremely lean. So, you know, if you compete, the first show you do, it's always the easiest. So I got really lean, and then I actually realized I don't have that much muscle I was think I do. And So yeah, 2015 did my pro at the first time, super lean. And then I got into Pure 8 final, which was after my pro in 4 weeks in between. So just finished the show and I was thinking that was it. So then I got into Pure Elite, started to prep for the next 4 weeks. And I think I was bringing a better physique. So what I was working on, it was working on maybe have a bit more rounded glutes. So in 4 weeks, I did as much as I can. In 2016, I competed again in UKBFF, placed second in top, there was a category called top fitness models. I placed second, I was extremely happy with that. And 2017, I didn't compete. There was a family issue, and then I said, like, you know, it's too selfish sometimes to compete. So I said, like, I'm just gonna maybe step back. But for 2017, my goal was to get sponsored. So I really started to work on my Instagram, and back then I had like, I don't know, 5,000-6,000 followers. But I started to just message companies. I was like, this is me, and this is what I want. And then you know, my goal was, actually the goal was, I usually write down my goals and just have it like clear, like it's on a paper. I know exactly what I want. I always did. And again, now all my goals is set for the next year or so. So 2017, my goal was, wanted to be in Body Power. One of the stands with the company sponsors me. Guess what's happened? I was there. It was just absolutely amazing. Yeah, you know, energy and positive thinking is something I always believed, and it's something, it's always, you know, moved me forward in like different kind of ways. Yeah, it's something amazing. I think you always get what you have to have, and if you work hard enough to make it happen, it's gonna be there for you. Yeah, end of 2017, that's when UKBFF and IFBB split up. I do love bodybuilding, so I follow what's going on behind the scenes, I guess. So that's when they first said that, okay, two bros. And then 2018 started with the most saddest day of my life. 1st of January, that's when my best friend died. So it's a really weird feeling, and it's something I still really hard to talk about it, but I know he's like helping me in different kind of ways. Like, I don't really know how to explain this, but close friends like experiencing the same thing I do. So yeah, so 2018 January, and then end of January there was something. I was during prep. I started my prep 1st of December for 2 pros, and there was nothing stopping me to compete. End of 2018, end of January, I was engaged, and end of January, that's when I decided that I'm gonna continue my life alone. So I'm not gonna go into too much details on that, but then I was just really concentrating on a prep, and I think it was 10th of March, that was 2 pros, obviously going through a lot of things. I still managed to be on stage and I placed third, which was huge. And then I'm just gonna show you guys quickly. So it's here. So I have a board. It's like my vision board, and then this is IFBB. So I done the pro qualifier, and the pro qualifier placed third. So there's that. And then since then I'm really working on, you know, my Instagram, and there is a lot happened, really a lot happened. I still haven't competed since. As I mentioned before, struggled with emotional eating, so I was working on that a lot. Like I did went to something called energy healing, which helped a lot. It was bringing up really deep things, I guess. Yeah, if you want to know more about that, then just message me. And I do meditate every day, which is really helpful. Yeah, the previous prep, I was, I think, 3 weeks out when I stopped. And this is something I never done before, and I always push myself to the limit. So it was something I'm really happy I done it. I learned a lot from it, and I know if I step back and look at the bigger picture, which is like competing and bodybuilding is my life, it's my passion, like truly. So I know I really need to heal myself from the emotional eating as much as I can, and it's more like, you know, just to know myself, like what triggers it. Like if there is triggers, like could be a lot of things, and then I'm just getting to know myself like more and more every day, and it's bringing me forward. Even if, like, you know, a lot of people keep asking when do you compete again, like I am going to compete. Oh, yeah, I am going to compete, but right now I'm just gonna keep it to myself, man. But I am extremely motivated and it's actually going really well. So now let's see the next question. So a lot of you actually asking me about nutrition. So nutrition is something, you know, what I do with my clients. I do think that it has to be personalized for your goal, for your needs, what you like, what you don't like. So if you want a meal plan, just drop me an email, a DM on Instagram, and then let's work together. I have questions from, oh, there is one question from Sam Supplier. How do you get motivated? So if I am really not motivated, which doesn't happen very often, when I really feel like, yeah, today this is not the day, I'm definitely not gonna make it to the gym, the best thing to do is put like a motivation video on YouTube. Just type in motivation video, even bodybuilding or anything. Trust me, it's gonna get you motivated like nothing else. Alright, next one is Sarah asking, what do you do away from working out? Working in the gym, meal prep, so cooking. I really like to sleep. That's another thing I like to do. I do really like to listen to house music. I do listen when I'm training, obviously. Yeah, I'm a pretty boring person, I guess. All I do is train, eat, cook and sleep, so recovery. Oh, actually I sometimes go to do some sauna just to recover quicker, and I can kill myself again in the gym. Yeah, I don't know what is the other competition, challenges in competitions, so I think that's it. So thank you guys for listening for all this. I hope it makes sense. If it doesn't, or if you have any question, please shoot me a DM or drop me an email. Yeah, if I can help with anything, please just reach out. Like, I do personally answer all the messages I get, so thank you guys.